If you don't think God listens to your prayers, God listens to your prayers. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Tani and I am a content creator. I put out faith, beauty and lifestyle content. However, most recently, I have been reminded by the Holy Spirit that my channel is definitely lacking a bit more in the faith side of things. Today, I'll actually be giving some testimonies. Whoa, who doesn't love a good testimony? So sometimes last month, I felt like God was consistently tugging at my heart about the importance of testimonies, and I was reminded about how my favorite part of service when I was younger would be testimony time. I think testimonies are so important. They encourage people, they give people an insight into what's been going on in your life, and it's just crazy how someone comes on there and tells you what they've been going through, and you've seen them all the previous Sundays and you had no clue that that's what they've been going through. I feel like sometimes you pray for things and it's so easy to forget when God actually fulfills his promise and gives that thing to you. And another time where you're needing something else, it's so hard to remember that God actually showed up for you last time and he's able to do it again. So yeah, this video is to encourage you, but also encourage myself in future when I need it. I'll be giving you guys 3 testimonies, 2 smaller ones and then one bigger one. And yeah, I just hope you're blessed by this video. This testimony is going to be about how I almost became homeless. Yeah. My school year was set to end July the 2nd. That was when my accommodation contract for university was being terminated. That was the last day that basically you could have moved out of accommodation. And I knew this from the beginning. So with my uni, you're only guaranteed accommodation for your first year. From second year onwards, you're supposed to go into private accommodation. So a lot of people either tend to just move back home if they live in London, or move out into a new house. So I was supposed to be moving into a house with 3 of my other friends. It was supposed to be 4 in the house, and we'd been looking for a house since March period. We found this beautiful house. Guys, if you know London prices, it's not cheap at all renting in London, but we found this beautiful 4-bedroom house with a spare room. It was basically a 5-bedroom. Everyone was gonna have their own toilet and bathroom because the house was just so big. It had all these things, and we're gonna be paying less than 200 per month. Guys, it doesn't even sound real. It was literally a dream home. But this house was in Uxbridge, so it wasn't central London or anything. So you can understand why it was a little bit cheaper. It was newly built. We went there. It was a gorgeous house, guys. A gorgeous house. And I know it just sounds yeah, that's a bit hard to believe, Tani, but guys, trust me, this house was everything we needed and more. Like I said, it had 5 bedrooms, it had a study, it had a garden. It was just a beautiful house. We were praying about the house, and then it came to the signing of the contracts and things, and then the landlord of the house was like, there's a little problem that we're all students and she's actually not able to put all of our names on the contract. So this was kind of the first red flag in this house hunting process. She's unable to put down all of our names because she doesn't have an HMO license. An HMO license, guys, by the way, is just a license that permits, I think it's 2 or more people from different households to live in the same house. So she could legally rent this house to 2 of us, so the other 2 of us would be living in the house, and she's okay with that, but she can't have our names on the contract. And with this, it was a bit wishy-washy because we didn't entirely know what that meant. We were kind of split in between, should we still go ahead with this house because this house is amazing and it's cheap, or do we just back out of it because of this red flag? It was someone who pointed across the fact that if we went to live in the house and then next year, someone found out that 4 people were actually living in the house and reported it to I don't know, the council or something, the woman can lie to them and basically say that she wasn't even aware that 4 of us are living in the house. So she could have gone back on us and then basically tried to act like she didn't know 4 of us are living in the house. So we were like, you know what, let's not go with this house, because we did ask the lady to sign a contract stating that she was fully aware that four people were living in this house and she'd given us permission, and she wasn't happy to sign that contract. So that's how our dream house just vanished, guys. But we give God all the glory because Let me fast forward the story. In our moment of just giving up, we're just done with like house searching now, because that was the closest we had been to signing a contract. Everyone was tired. I think I was the only one with my other friend that was still looking for houses. And one day I was just on the bed, I was just scrolling through, and I just saw this beautiful, gorgeous house, literally 2 stops away from my campus next year. And I was just like, I just sent it to my friend. I said, I'm not calling the landlord, you call them, because I'm just done with this whole house thing. Like, I was done in the sense that I was just tired of speaking to people, but I still knew that I had nowhere to live as soon as school was up. So my friend called the landlord or called the agent and, you know, let's check out the house. I didn't really have my hopes up, but it was a really beautiful house. Eventually we organized a date to go and check out this house. It's in a gorgeous area, by the way, guys. Again, everything was just seeming very whoa, and the price was still under 200, so we're really happy with this. And it was literally 2 train stops away from our university. Of course, this is the best possible scenario that could have ever happened to us. So we ended up going to check out this house, and it wasn't clickbait, guys. This house looked exactly how it looked online. And remember, I told you we'd been praying. It didn't have as many toilets, but it was just what we needed. It was a beautiful house, 4 bedroom, 2 bathrooms, beautiful living room, big, spacious, beautiful kitchen, a little dining area. It was just the perfect house. Very aesthetically pleasing, very much TikTok-y, Instagram-y. We all fell in love with that house, and we decided that this was going to be the house. We asked the agent on that day, do you have an HMO license? And he said, oh yeah. He was even like, oh, I'm surprised that you're even asking about that. Normally people don't even know what that means and stuff. But you know, we'd already been through a lot, so we needed to make sure that we had all the facts straight. Anyways, fast forward, we set a date to move in. It was supposed to be the day that my contract terminated accommodation. I was supposed to move into this house. Poof, that's when the enemy really started to try it. So yeah, we had our house now. We knew that we were going to be moving into this house, but then the process just started to get more and more slow from here. Not necessarily the fault of my friends, not necessarily the fault of my agents. Actually, some fault to my friends, because everyone was just not doing everything they were supposed to do. Everyone was delaying and getting the contract signed and getting their parents to do everything they needed to do. You need guarantors for a property like that. It was really hard, and the process was really strenuous. I was starting to feel very overwhelmed because I felt like people weren't taking it as seriously as me, because obviously once our contract actually terminated, everyone else still kind of had a house to go back to. And even though they were open to me like coming to stay with them in the houses, I wasn't necessarily comfortable with like going to stay in someone else's space. And I really wanted to just know that once uni's over, I can move into my space that I'm comfortable in. The process was a little bit annoying because everyone was working on different timelines. I was getting frustrated, and I hated telling my friends about it because I could understand why they weren't as quick to do it, because you know, when you have an option, you don't feel as pressured to do certain things. Anyways, a few days to move-in day now, well, move out of my accommodation / move-in day to the new house. The landlord is like, you guys haven't submitted everything on time, you can't move into the property, you know, on Saturday when you said that you're moving in. The agent told us that that can't happen, and we'd have to move into the house the following week. And now I started panicking again. I was just so overwhelmed. I was like, I have nowhere to go. There's nothing I can do. If I'm having to move out of accommodation this day, where am I gonna put all of my stuff? I considered, you know, a hotel. The hotels around me were fully booked. I was like, even if I did go to a hotel, where am I gonna put all my things? Because my whole life was literally in my accommodation room, because my family doesn't live in the country. So everything was just very complicated. I wasn't willing to go stay with any friend. I just didn't really want to inconvenience anyone. And I know a lot of my friends will look on this video and they'll be like, Tani, why don't you just come stay with me? But you know, I had my own personal reasons, and I just really didn't want it. If you get me, you get me. And even though people say, oh, it wouldn't have been like that, that's exactly how I would have felt. I just had a lot going on, and I didn't know where to put my stuff, nor where to even put my head at night. And in my being overwhelmed and stuff, I'd talk to my mom. My mom would be like, oh, Tani, at the end of the day, like last, you will still have somewhere to sleep, like you won't be homeless. Anyways, I kept praying about it because I felt like no one's taking me seriously. Everyone thought I was being a drama queen. And then one day I just said, you know what, I'm gonna go talk to the wardens of my accommodation building. And in my talking to her, I could literally hear my voice just give way. My voice just started breaking, and she could tell that I was about to cry, because I don't even know why I was about to cry, but I was just really overwhelmed with everything. And I told her the story of how I was supposed to be moving into my accommodation place, but now I'm not able to. And she was like, oh, okay, that's fine. I should just send an email saying the whole story to this particular email, and they'll probably let me stay in the accommodation an extra week or however long I plan to stay. So I sent this email and I prayed that they will grant it to me, that they will let me stay an extra however many days I needed. Yeah, and then they responded, they asked me how many days more I needed, and the lady had told me that I'd pay for the week that I was staying, and I said, yeah, I'm happy with that, I just need a place to stay. They approved it. And then I asked them for another 7 days in a com. Everyone moved out on the 2nd when they were supposed to. It was just me in my with my accommodation with like a few other people. Eventually, we were able to move into the accommodation, I think 5 days into it. So I'd requested for a 7-day extension, but on the 5th day, I was able to move into my house for the next year along with my friends. And yeah, I was just really grateful for that. And also the bigger thing was that I didn't even have to pay a single dime. So for that extra week that I got the extension for accommodation, I didn't pay a single dime, guys. No money was taken. It was just free. And I just thank God, because that was only by God's grace that happened. Anyways, now fast forwarding into the second part of the testimony, which was just going to live in this house. I'd moved into my house now, and all my other friends had gone to their own houses because during summer everyone goes home, right? So I was the only one living there, and I was happy living there on my own anyways. I wasn't willing to pay for Wi-Fi until everyone had started living in the house. I was planning to manage my data throughout the month until it was time for me to travel, because I was planning to travel later into summer anyways. So no Wi-Fi, I was only relying on data. My data was starting to finish now, and then there was even days that until like I went to the train station to go out somewhere, when I'm coming back, instead of going home, I stay at the train station to like look at my messages on Instagram. It was very highly ghetto, but anywhere that I had Wi-Fi, I would just stay for long periods of time just to make sure I was using their Wi-Fi and I was saving up on my own data. And guys, there was this day that I ended up ranting about it on TikTok, because I was just like, why am I in the train station using the Wi-Fi? It's highly ghetto. I was just like ranting about it on TikTok. Guys, in a couple of hours, I received a message from EE just saying, oh, it's the sports week, something, something, something. We have decided that tomorrow, all your data is going to be free. And a message saying tomorrow you have unlimited data from this time till this time. And guys, I was just like, what? You know when they say that God looks out, or God hears even the littlest needs of yours. He hears even the littlest things, like he knows your littlest desires. Guys, this is what I needed at the moment. I just needed a day that I could just have data in my house without going out to the shop or without going to the train station to be looking for Wi-Fi. And God really granted that to me. The next day, if you see the way I was using data in my house, phew, I was using data like I'd never used data before. That one day was all I needed. The rest of the days, I think I had literally just had like 2 or 3 more days left until my data started again anyways. So that one day really made a difference. I was actually even volunteering for the NCS the following week, and they'd given us a lot of training programs to do. And because of my lack of Wi-Fi in the house, I was having to go to the train stations to go and be doing my NCS things. And I got tired of it, and I ended up feeling like, you know what, I'm not going to finish this NCS training program before I do it. But that one day of data that I had, I completed all that I needed to do. Okay, almost completed what I needed to do. I was just too gassed that day. I ended up doing other things. But God really granted me that day to do everything that I needed to do without lacking data. Yeah. If you don't think God listens to your prayers, God listens to your prayers. Anyways, and now to the last thing. NCS pay. So NCS is the National Citizens Program, and a lot of people around my age should know what it is, or if you're 16 and above, you should know what it is. It's basically this program that after year 11, a lot of people just go. It's basically a program where you're supposed to learn skills. So during this program, I was volunteering as an assistant team leader. I had actually messaged my friend about it saying, do you want to do NCS with me? Because I'd never actually been to the program in year 11, because year 11 summer I went to Nigeria, so I never actually did the NCS. So I just messaged her saying, do you want to do the NCS, just so that we have something nice to say that we did this summer on LinkedIn? Because this summer I worked in H&M, but I didn't want to just be able to say, oh, I worked in H&M whilst everyone else was busy doing serious things with their lives. So I said to my friend, oh, do you want to do NCS this summer so we have something good to talk about on LinkedIn? And she said, yeah, she's down. And she was just like, what's the pay? We looked at the pay, and I think it was like £70 a day or something like that. And she was like, that pay is not great at all, but if we want to do it, we'll do it for vibes, right? So we knew from the get-go that this pay was not good, but we're still willing to do it because at the end of the day, we just wanted to use it so we could write it on our LinkedIn profiles. As the days kept coming by and NCS was drawing closer and closer, and they started sending us all these training programs, we were like, you know what, this money is not exactly great. We're doing a lot of things and this money is just not good. And that's how the day before we left for NCS, we got an email saying we have decided to change the NCS salaries and each person will basically be earning over £120 per day. Guys, I'm saying from £70 per day. I don't think you're understanding. At the end of this NCS, which we only did for 2 weeks, I can tell you that I made more money than I would have made in 7 weeks of work at my previous job. God has he's just really shown up for me this summer. And that has been the essence of this video. I hope you're feeling more encouraged to just step out and know that God is not just listening to the bigger things that you want in life. He's listening to every one of your small needs. If you have a small need, just say it. Just say it and speak with faith. I mean, I didn't necessarily speak with faith. There were just little things that I felt like, oh, Holy Spirit, I want this. Or Holy Spirit, this pay is not good. And just like that, he showed up and he changed these little things. Guys, God is good, and I just hope you felt encouraged by this video. I don't know what you're looking to God for. I pray that he will grant it to you. That is the end of this video. If you have felt encouraged, make sure you leave a like or you subscribe or you comment. Just do something. Support this channel, guys. Support me. Anyways, thank you so much, guys. God bless you. Have a lovely day.